Hello everyone, Dave here back with another video, and today in honor of not Halloween, because I don't like Halloween. I'm a little baby bitch boy. I get scared too easily. It's not a holiday I vibe with. But there is something that started back up recently, and that is the NBA. The new season started about 2-ish weeks ago, maybe about a week, 2 weeks ago. And I wanted to do something fun, an idea that I've been having, that I've had for a little while, and that's what if we were to create an NBA basketball team using anime characters? Our starting five plus a coach for fun. What if we took anime characters and had them play basketball? And as you can tell, I'm repping the Charlotte Bobcats jersey. Kemba Walker's my favorite player currently, even though he's a free agent right now, so he's not actually playing. But I guess this is our little Halloween shout out because the Charlotte Bobcats were fucking awful. They were scary with how bad they were. So there's our little jump scare to shout out good old Halloween. But anyway, where was I going with that? So yeah, I want to create a starting five and a coach of anime characters. I have two caveats for how I'm going to go about this list. I'm not going to choose characters from basketball anime because that would be kind of boring. You know, if I was coming up with the perfect basketball team and just filled it all with characters from like Slam Dunk or Kuroko's Basketball or something like that, that would be kind of boring because if you were looking at it, you know, analytically, I guess, the best choice probably would be to say, okay, we're just going to fill it with a bunch of characters that know how to play basketball already. But my second caveat is kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum, is I'm not going to fill it with the strongest, quickest characters ever. Because, like, yeah, on paper you could say Kuroko knows how to play basketball way better than Goku does. But if they were to play basketball against one another, Goku would win because he's just faster and stronger and just a bigger body, can muscle out, whatever. Um, so you know, while I'm saying I'm not going to use 5 basketball players, I'm also not going to use 5 of the strongest, quickest guys because that's also kind of boring on the opposite end of the spectrum. Because again, if I was picking 5 good basketball players, I would just pick the 5 strongest, quickest anime characters I could think of and call it a day. And that's kind of boring. Obviously, I'm going to take people's powers into account because, you know, it just makes it more fun. But my two caveats are basically, you know, eliminating the two far ends of the spectrum and coming up with a good middle ground of interesting but not super overpowered characters to fill out our basketball starting five and, of course, coach. Another thing I feel the need to mention is I love sports. I love basketball. I consider myself to be pretty knowledgeable. At least I feel more than the average person, just basically because I'm a nerd when it comes to sports. I love researching. I love watching sports, all that stuff. But I'm no basketball genius. I want to say that right now. I'm not super smart. So if there's a character that would fit the role better than somebody who I pick, because it just makes more sense with how, for example, a small forward works versus a power forward, sure. But I'm not going to do all that right now. This is just something fun I'm doing because why not, right? So anyway, all that being said, let's get into it. Here are my top five starting five, and coach for our anime basketball team. So first, let's get probably every position is important on a basketball court. Probably one of the most important positions is going to be our point guard. This is going to be our facilitator. This is going to be the person who's running the offense. This is going to be the guy who's basically who's doing a fair amount of scoring. But the way that I'm running this team, he's going to be mainly the guy who's, like I said, the facilitator and the guy who is going to get the ball to everybody. And also, like I also said, running the offense, coming up with plays, Do we do a pick and roll? Do we do, set a screen here, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I think a great guy for that role, and I think our starting point guard is going to be Harama from iShield 21. And the reason I say that is because he may not be the most mobile guy. He's got a fair amount of toughness, being a quarterback and all. But his mind, the way that he works, he's able to come up with all these crazy plans to get the Devil Bats out of precarious situations. Things that he just pulls out of his ass that I think would really benefit this team, especially in a pinch, to be able to say, pull this crazy plan, pull this play. Okay, you go here, you go here. He's a good commander, whether or not he's using, weaponry and yelling at people to get them to do what he wants. It still happens. The Devil Bats are still a good team for a reason, whether that be his coaching or not. But I think he's going to do a good job at making sure the floor is spaced out, making sure the other members of our team are where they need to be, commanding them to do what they need to do. And on top of it, he's going to be a good facilitator with the ball, getting it to those people because he's a quarterback. So he already knows how to pass. Obviously, the ball is different. But he already knows how to run an offense, how to run a team. And I think that leadership is going to carry over well into the point guard role because, again, when you're on the floor, the point guard is kind of the leader in a way, running the plays, running the offense, things like that. So I think Harama is going to be a good starting point guard. His mobility might not be the best, but he's going to be able to get the ball to our shooting guard and, to our other members, but that was just my little segue of going into shooting guard. For shooting guard, I got a guy who, when you're on the backcourt, your backcourt is your point guard and your shooting guard. Those are two guys that normally don't need to be super tall. They got to have a lot of mobility, though. And Harama may not have the best mobility, but this shooting guard will make up for it. And that is Oikawa from Haiku. Now, I know some of you guys may be thinking, Dave, you went on this whole spiel about choosing interesting characters, and you got two sports anime guys right away. Trust me, our interior defense, our big men are going to get more interesting later on. But for right now, our shooting guard is going to be Oikawa from iShield 20. From Haiku. And the reason I pick Oikawa is for a number of things. The first thing that immediately stuck out to me with him was when we first meet Oikawa in Haiku, his whole big thing is about how he can place the ball anywhere on the court, especially when he spikes. He can get it anywhere. Well, like when he sees a spot, he wants to put the ball there, he will put it there 100% of the time. Why couldn't he be able to do that with shooting a basketball? I think that would carry over pretty well. Obviously, spiking a volleyball and shooting a basketball are very different things. But his aim, I feel like, would be the same. So if you say, I want to get it in the hoop, I feel like he'd be able to get it in the hoop. Also, volleyball is another sport where height matters, and having a taller shooting guard, I think, will be beneficial, especially one with mobility. Basketball and volleyball are both sports that you got to constantly be running around, constantly be on your feet. And I feel like those skill sets would carry over well. I feel like his height, his ability to get over people, get a shot up, and be able to know exactly where that shot is going to go, I feel like will benefit the team a lot. And I feel like he'd be pretty good at it. He's also got that competitive fire that we need out of a shooting guard. Somebody that's not afraid to take a half-court shot when they need to. Somebody that's not afraid to just let a shot go. You see guys so often in the NBA, get an open look, but hesitate because it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm, if my form's right, and they pass it away or they do whatever or they brick it. But Kawa's going to be that guy that's like, no, get me the ball, we're going to shoot, and I'm going to make it. So I feel like he would be a good shooting guard for our team. Now, I know what you're thinking. as well. Dave, this perimeter may not have the best defense. I feel like Oikawa's height is going to help him out on defense. Smacking spiking a volleyball and smacking down a shot are very similar motions, so I feel like he'll have that down. And like I said earlier, though, Harama may not be the most mobile guy, so our perimeter defense may be a little lacking. But I think where we're going to make up for it is our interior defense and also, in turn, our interior offense. And that's why I have at small forward, I have, I would be remiss if I didn't try to fit Yu Yu Hakusho into any video I can because it's my favorite anime. But I have Kuwabara at small forward. Are we going to get a lot of scoring out of him? Maybe. But I think having him in that small forward position is going to benefit us more off ball than on ball. He's not going to be the biggest scorer, but he's a big body, and he's not afraid to get in there, right? I feel like he's going to play some Dennis Rodman era, like Pistons basketball. Where obviously when we meet Kuwabara, he's a street tough. He doesn't mind getting into a fight, getting into a tussle. I feel like he's gonna be that big body that that people are afraid to square up against. I feel like he's gonna get in there and not be afraid to take a charge, to give a charge. He's not going to be afraid to get up in somebody's grill and muscle the ball away, similar to how like Zion Williamson will like muscle the ball from somebody. Now, of course, Zion's not a small forward, but you get what I'm saying. And also I think his morale, he was able to really unlock some of Yusuke's potential. Granted, it was because Yusuke thought he was dead, but still, he did it, I feel like having that morale on that team and having that positive energy is really going to help also, because as much as sports skill is important, you also need a reason to want to play. And, having somebody like pump up the team and get everybody ready, I think Kuwabara is going to be a good fit. His skill, but also just his personality, I think will fit well with this team. They're going to be guys that want to play, and they're going to be guys that want to win, right? So what else was I going to say about him? He's got a big body. He's kind of a goofball, so again, his mobility and his mechanics may not be great. But again, I think he's going to be really good off ball, and really help kind of, set screens set screens for Oikawa to shoot, or help with the interior defense and certain things like that. So who I got backing him up at power forward is actually another guy who I picked for very similar reasons. Big body, somebody that you're not going to want to square up against, somebody that is not afraid to get in there and play some rough bad boy Pistons basketball. And that's going to be Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star. The biggest difference is, I think, Kenshiro's a tall guy. He's a big guy. I think he's going to be able to attack the hoop, attack the rim a lot as well. I think, his quickness with his hand, I forget what the style of kung fu that he uses is called. It's been a long time since I've watched any Fist of the North Star. But I feel like his misdirection when it comes to his hands, if he goes up for maybe a layup or a dunk on one end, somebody goes up to deflect him, he's going to be able to quickly get the ball into his other hand, and come down, posterize somebody. I can see that happening a lot. His stoic nature, his unwillingness to really kind of break, I think will also help get in people's heads. You got somebody trying to get into his head, trying to mess with him a little bit. He's not going to give you an inch. He's just out there to play, and he's going to do a good job at it. Muscling his way, clearing room for our backcourt to make plays happen. getting in there with the ball, especially with Harama passing him the ball. Also, Kenshiro's, like I said, pretty tall. He's going to be able to just bam, got the ball, dunk, and that's how it's going to go. Yeah, so I think Kenshiro is a good pick for our power forward. Now, our center. A guy that I picked for similar reasons as to Kuwabara and Kenshiro. And honestly, now that I think about it, Kenshiro might have made a better center than this guy. We might need to switch Kenshiro to center and this next character to power forward. But for right now, we'll keep it as is. And that's Jiren. I think Jiren would make a good center. He's quick. He's big. He, again, is a very stoic guy. Very similar to Kenshiro and even Kuwabara to an extent with the quickness and stuff. These are guys, our interior defense is going to be fucking locked down. And there are going to be three guys that you do not want to go against. You're going to be scared to go in the paint. You're going to have to take all your shots from the perimeter. And hopefully they go in. But if you got Jiren in there ready to rebound, you're not getting the ball. He's too quick. The second that ball bounces off the rim, he's going to grab it. He might goaltend every once in a while because he'll be so quick with it that it might still be in the goaltend range. But we can take those points. We can take those points. That's fine. Because Jiren will make sure that he comes down with the ball. And I think his quickness, his speed, which are the same thing. I don't know why I said that. I meant to say his quickness and his strength, I think will really help him be that big body center that we need to rebound the ball, to keep people out, to follow up. If it's an offensive rebound, he'll be able to just pop back up, dunk it, things like that. A big thing in basketball is there's a lot of fake outs in basketball, right? A lot of I'm going to pretend that I'm going to shoot or lay up and then I pass it out. Or I'm going to, fake, pump fake and then shoot. And then, shoot while somebody's up in the air. So then I go up while they're coming down and then I get an open look and shoot and whatever. Those are just simple mechanics of basketball. But Jiren is so fucking fast that even if he is baited by, let's say, a pump fake, somebody, fakes him, he jumps up, he's going to be able to move his body fast enough in the air to not have that even be a factor. He's going to be able to get back on the ground and jump back up again so that he can smack that ball into the next galaxy, out of here. It's going to be like the Monstars playing the what's the team that always plays the Globetrotters? The Generals or something? It's going to be that. It's going to be a slaughter, especially with Jiren basically not letting anything in. He's too quick. He's too fast. So what else was I going to say? But he's going to be able to switch things up quick. There's one of my favorite players that I loved watching was Jason Williams, and he had this thing where he would go behind the back to pass, thinking that he's going to pass it this way, but then he would hit the ball with his elbow and it would go that way. So it's that misdirection that's pretty common in basketball. Not Jason Williams' patented. I don't think it's patented. I'm just kidding. But his elbow pass, I don't think that's as common. But moves where, you go to attack and then you dish it out. Jiren's not going to fall for that. And even if he does, he's got Kuwabara and Kenshiro in the paint there to back him up. And then, of course, he's got Harama and Oikawa on the perimeter. Again, our perimeter defense may not be the best, but I still feel like if we force them to have to shoot the hard shots, not let them get any easy looks, I still feel like that's a positive, right? So last but not least is our coach. Who's going to keep this squad moving? Honestly, I don't think it's that important. A good coach not only coaches the team, but also gives them a reason to play. A good coach fires up his team. A good coach takes care of his guys and makes sure they're all doing what they need to do. But this team is full of bloodthirsty motherfuckers, right? I don't think that they're going to need anything other than, oh, we get to, like, destroy somebody. Okay, that's enough motivation for us. Like, Harama always wants to win. Oikawa always wants to win. Kuwabara just, like, wants to, like, back up his homies, you know? And that's another good thing about him, is he's going to be the guy to protect the young guys on the team if this team ever has any good draft picks. Which we probably won't because we're always going to be in the finals, I think. But like the young new star rookies that come in, Kuwabara is going to be that guy to say, hold up, don't mess with my guy, like chill out. Kenshiro's not afraid of nothing. Jiren just wants to prove that he's the best, you know? So, like, this team is going to want to win and is going to want to compete regardless. So, really, when it came to thinking of a coach, I didn't think so much about who's going to pump up the team because, again, we got Kuwabara to do that for us. I thought of just on an analytical coaching level, who's somebody that has a great strategic mind and will come up with some really interesting ways for our team to play basketball and our, play different plays, different, schemes and lineups and floor changes and things like that. And that's going to be Shikamaru from Naruto. Constantly, his brain has gotten Naruto and his pals out of deep, deep shit. His plans, his way to assess his surroundings and take the emotion out of it and think, okay, if I do this, this is what's going to happen. And if they do this, this is what's going to happen. And it's very methodical, it's very analytical, and I think that would translate really well into a basketball coach because he's going to look at the floor, he's going to look at our guys, he's going to look at their guys, and he's going to say, okay, this is the best way for us to play. They're going to counter with this, we're going to counter with that, back and forth. Here's a good play. Harama, make sure they run this, and Harama's going to take out a machine gun and make sure everybody runs everything to perfection. I think this will be an extremely toxic team. I'm not going to lie. This will be a team of fucking killers. But I think it'll be a good team. I think it'll be a good basketball team. And that's my starting five and coach. Just to recap, we have Harama from iShield 21 running the point. We have Oikawa from Haiku at shooting guard. We have Kuwabara from Yu Yu Hakusho at small forward. We have Kenshiro from Piss of the North Star. That's not a show. I wish it was. That'd be sick. From Fist of the North Star at power forward. And of course, we have Jiren from Dragon Ball Super running the 5 center. And of course, Shikamaru from Naruto as our coach. Or if you want to use the older version from Boruto, sure. Because it would kind of be weird to have a child coaching all these grown people. I guess Harama is still in high school, and so is Zorikawa for a good portion of the show. But none of that really matters, so I don't know why I'm rambling about it. But yeah, that's our basketball team. I had a lot of fun putting this together. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts and my reasoning. If you guys have a basketball team, leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to see what your squad is. I love sports and I love anime. They're two of God's greatest creations, so I always love when I'm able to combine the two. In the future, I would love to do like a football team or a hockey team, or I'd even do baseball. I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but I'd give a crack at it. Honestly, I love sports, so if you guys want me to do a fucking water polo team, I'll do it, So let me know if you guys enjoyed this. I would really appreciate the like if you liked the video. Not only does it help the video in the algorithm, but it also helps me in knowing that people liked it, Also leaving a comment, just let me know, hey, this was a fun video. And I'd say, oh my God, thank you so much. Love you. Maybe not verbatim, but you get the point. And even a subscription would go a long way and would really make my day, and I really would appreciate it. So, Appreciate you guys watching. If you made it this far, again, let me know if you guys want me to do any other sports or even a bench to this team. You want to see, okay, Dave, we got the starters and we got the coach. Let's see what depth we're working with, you know? Or if we want to create another basketball team and see how the teams would face off against one another. I don't really know a good way of doing that. Like a good way of actually knowing who would win, but maybe we can figure that out in the future. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Have a happy Halloween, everybody. I'm going to stay inside and, I don't know, play Doom. That's really the scariest I'm willing to get. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great one. I'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.